AT-AT Commander's back with another version of The Empire Strikes Back, this time for your Intellivision system. Let's go ahead and take Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, pop it in my Intellivision, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back was published by Parker Brothers and carries a copyright year of 1983. It is based on the classic 1980 film and is a port of the popular Atari 2600 game, which came out during the previous year, although there are some differences between the 2600 version and the Intellivision version. According to the manual, the Empire's revenge has begun. Right now, an army of Imperial walkers is marching towards the Rebels' power generator on the ice planet Hoth. If they reach it, the entire Rebel base will blow sky high. To stop them, the Rebels must rely on missile-firing snow speeders. The snow speeders are quick and agile, and in the hands of a skillful commander, they can destroy the mighty walkers. So climb into your snow speeder and be prepared to meet the first of your deadly enemies. The object of the game is to destroy as many Imperial walkers as you can before they reach the power generator at the end of the battlefield, or before the Imperial walkers destroy your fleet of snow speeders. The game did not come with an overlay, so you may want to pay attention to the incredibly complex controls. In the game, you use the disc to fly around and land and hold down the upper side buttons to fire. Similar to the classic game Defender, there is a radar on the bottom of the screen and you can wrap around the edges. On the radar, there can be up to 5 Imperial walkers. Your game ends if you run out of lives or if a walker makes it all the way to the right of the radar, destroying your unseen power generators. Destroying a walker takes 30 hits, which is less than the 48 hits needed in the 2600 version. After every 8 hits, the walker will change colors from black to blue to red to tan. As it changes colors, it slows its walking speed, its firing rate, and its ability to aim is diminished. Once it turns tan, only 6 hits are needed to destroy it. You can also destroy a walker by hitting an open bomb hatch that randomly shows up as an orange square in this version. If a walker hits you, you change colors too. You can take up to 4 hits, which is 1 less than the 2600 version, but sometimes you can be destroyed with less hits. You can repair up to 2 times per life by landing on a flat portion of the ground. With a well-timed shot, you could destroy a walker's missile. From time to time, you will begin to flash as the Star Wars theme plays, indicating that the Force is active and you will be invincible for the next 20 seconds. After the Force wears off, you will be able to repair yourself 2 times, even if you had repaired yourself before the Force was active. The game has 4 variations. Game number 1 is your standard variation. Game number 2 has solid walkers. In this variation, if you hit the walker's body, it will destroy you, but you will damage them as well. However, you can fly through their legs. Game number 3 has smart bombs that will come after you out of the bomb hatches. And game number 4 has solid walkers and smart bombs. Scoring wise, you get 1 point for every hit on a walker. You get 10 points for shooting down a walker's missile. You get 25 points for crashing the snow speeder into a walker without destroying it, 50 points for destroying a walker, 100 points for hitting the bomb hatch, and 100 points for shooting down a smart bomb. For every 2,000 points, you get an extra snow speeder. Graphically speaking, the game looks okay, but I honestly expected more when compared to the 2600 version. The walkers are bigger and look a little nicer, but the rest of the game does not look that improved at all. And actually, the scrolling is not as smooth as the 2600 version. The color scheme of the background seems to be more pastel, looking kind of like an Easter egg pattern. Sound and music wise, the sound effects were okay, but not as cool as the 2600 sounds in my opinion. The theme was nice, except that when the Force is active, it cuts out as soon as a walker is destroyed, even if the Force is still active, which is a shame. Family friendly wise, this is a basic action game, which would most likely get an E for everyone rating if released today. At the time I researched on eBay, including shipping, loose copies were going for $8 to $14, complete copies were going for $24 to $29, and one new copy sold for $40. So what did I think of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back on the Intellivision? While I got some enjoyment out of the game, I overall felt that this was an underwhelming port of the 2600 version. On the bright side, I like tapping the disc back to slow down, although I wish it was easier to come to a complete stop before turning around, and I found it hard to land in this version. I also found it easier to hit the bomb hatches, which is a plus, but there are several negatives outside of some of my problems with the graphics and the sounds. For one thing, the Force doesn't seem active as often as the 2600 version. Because the Imperial walkers are larger, you really have a lot less room to move around and attack from a distance, and if you get too close to a walker, they have an ability to hit you with several shots in a row. To make matters worse, they don't slowly scroll onto the screen, but rather their head just pops in when they get close, once again making it hard to attack from a distance. And when you approach them from behind, they show up real close to your ship on the right of the screen, increasing the chance of receiving multiple hits. So in the end, I played the game cautiously, approaching slowly from the front and retreating often. Playing this way on the standard game, I was able to hold off the Imperial walkers so long that I was starting to get bored, wanting my game to end. Which leads to the final problem. For all 4 game variations, you only have one standard difficulty, which is baffling considering that the 2600 version has 4 difficulties for each variation. Overall, this is a game that I got some enjoyment out of, but I can't help but feeling it had the potential to be so much more if a little more time and talent was poured into it. So where am I going to rank The Empire Strikes Back? Somewhere in the middle. I enjoyed Donkey Kong Jr. more at 5, but I will put it over Popeye at 6 since Empire Strikes Back controls a bit better. So out of the 10 games I've now ranked on the Intellivision, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back is flying into the 6th position. The Empire Strikes Back offers some enjoyment on the Intellivision, but fails to rise above the 2600 version due to a lack of polish. At least that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please click like and subscribe and follow me both on the Facebook and the Twitter. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. At this time, I'd like to thank the extraordinary Dude Michael from the Two Dudes in an S podcast for supporting the show through Patreon. Thank you, Michael. If you appreciate the work I do, please consider joining the League of Extraordinary Patreon Supporters by signing up at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, and if you ever see yellow skies over purple mountains, be on the lookout for Imperial walkers.